It's time for Faith Filter with Pastor Jesse from Grace Community Church in Auburn. He's also the dynamic host of the new Bonfire podcast on Purposely, and he's just awesome. Morning, Pastor Jesse.
Hey, good morning, Erica.
I've really been looking forward to this conversation because from the moment I saw Aaron Rodgers get injured during the first 5 minutes of the first game of the NFL season, my heart has gone out to him. I know we're Hawks fans, but there he is. He's on a brand new team looking for a new start, and he gets injured. So I want to talk about what it feels like and what to do when you get sidelined in life because it's so hard.
It's so difficult, and I think we can all relate in one sense because life is going one way, and you think it's going to play out so well, and all of a sudden, without any warning, out of your control, it's going a completely different direction, and suddenly he's not available for the whole season. And injuries are a tough part of sport. I think when it comes to injuries or being sick, there's the physical aspect, but a lot of times it also wants to pull us down emotionally. And it can be a time where spiritually we drift from God if we're not intentional to go to God with our pain and disappointment. And that can be a new thing for people. It certainly wasn't natural for me. I didn't grow up believing in God. I didn't know what to do with my disappointment. And it's really a learning and a growing in your relationship with God.
Wow, it's so true. It's an opportunity. So, Pastor Jesse, how do we deal with disappointment in a healthy way?
You know, you mentioned Aaron Rodgers, and I had the same injury about a year and a half ago, tore my Achilles tendon, and to be on the sidelines for a year wanting to play. And it's not a good feeling in life when you're watching instead of participating.
Yeah.
During those times of waiting, all right, here's some things you can do. First of all, make sure that God is your go-to. Psalm 46, God is our refuge, strength, and ever-present help in trouble. You can pour your heart out to God. That's Psalm 62, verse 8. Psalm 63, verse 8 says, cling to God. And Jesus says in John 15, abide with God. In all these texts and scriptures, the message is go near to God, don't pull away.
Yes.
And that's a choice every day. And as you do that, I like to call it a gritty gratitude. When you really don't feel thankful, that's the time to count your blessings and to say out loud, God, I thank you for, and then you can list 3 things or 5 or 10. And when you start to give God thanks, it changes your perspective. And those are some habits that you can develop. Cultivate those habits, a gritty gratitude, make sure God's your go-to. And when I tore my Achilles, it was hard to wait for a year, but then look to what good will come out of it. And I decided my son and I would run together, and we ran a half marathon raising money for clean water, but it was with purpose. And I realized health's a gift, running's a gift. And I wanted something good to come out of the hardship. And God will often bring a comeback after the setback, but by his grace, he'll bring good things out of the troubles, and he'll change your character. He'll humble you and make you grateful.
You can trust him through, and that takes time and patience to learn how to do that. But Pastor Jesse, can you confirm, because I believe this with all my heart, that even when we are sidelined in life, God isn't. He's still working even when we're on the sidelines.
He's always active. He never sleeps. And in fact, his power's at work in our weakness. And sometimes those low points, those pain points, that's going to be when you grow the most. You can relate to other people. Your compassion will grow. And in that process, too, remember, when you don't see God's hand, you can trust his heart. Spend time looking at God's character, his promises in Scripture, so that emotionally you don't end up in the ditch, so your perspective isn't tainted, because pain wants to distort our view of God. And seeing God clearly, seeing his goodness and grace, listen, God will often do his greatest work in the most difficult moments. So keep trusting him. I'll add Psalm 27, verses 13 and 14. Be strong, take heart, wait on the Lord. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. I'm confident I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living.
Yes, I am confident as well. Pastor Jesse, thank you as always for being with us. So appreciate your time.
Always great to be walking with Jesus together. Thank you.